All right, tomorrow, the 75th presentation of the Heisman Trophy will take place here in New York. Let's take a look at this year's finalists and what is expected to be a close vote. First off, we have Florida quarterback Tim Tebow, who won the award back in 2007. And then we have University of Texas quarterback Colt McCoy, who will be playing in this year's national championship game. Next up is Stanford University's running back Toby Gerhart, who led the Pac-10 conference in rushing yards. He is followed by another running back, Alabama's Mark Ingram, who will face Texas in the title game. And then we have Nebraska defensive tackle and Ndamukong Suh, who is the first defensive tackle to be named a finalist since 1994. So let's look more now at the Heisman, and who better to help us break down these finalists than a two-time winner of the trophy, Ohio State's Archie Griffin. It's a genuine honor and a pleasure to have you here on set. Thank you so much for joining us. I got to ask first about Tim Tebow. Not just because Florida beat Ohio State in the national championship a few years back in football and basketball, but because
it happened to be in the same year.
It was rough. It was very rough for us Buckeyes fans. But what about the possibility of him winning 2 Heisman trophies? I mean, so far you're the only guy who's ever done it. How would you feel about it?
Oh, I'd be happy for him. As a matter of fact, I've been asked that question several times, how I'd feel about it, and I'd be happy for him. I've said all along that I know that there's going to be somebody else to win it twice, and I actually thought that Tim Tebow would be the one to do that because he did win it as a sophomore, the first person to win it as a sophomore, and I thought he would do it since he had a couple more years left in college.
So I take it you think he's going to be the winner when we hear the final announcement this week?
Well, I don't know that he will. I think he has a good shot at it, but you know, this has been one of those years where it's wide open. It really is. I mean, the candidates are all truly outstanding. I mean, you've got the 2 great quarterbacks with Colt McCoy at Texas. He's a guy who finished second twice in the Heisman voting, and then you've got Ndamukong Suh, who just had a fabulous performance in that Big 12 championship game. I've never seen a guy dominate a game the way Ndamukong had dominated that game against Colt McCoy.
Wouldn't it be weird to see a tackle, though, winning it?
It really would, but it'd also probably be pretty good to see that happen because that's never happened before. I mean, the trophy is usually won between quarterbacks and running backs, and it's been quarterbacks for the most part in the last few years. But it would be kind of good to see somebody different do it. And I know what he has done is he's made people turn their heads, and they'll pay more attention to those defensive linemen or defensive players because of the way that he dominated that game against Texas.
Let's talk about what happens after you win. You know, I had such incredible high hopes for Troy Smith in the NFL after he won the Heisman Trophy and after he finished his college career, unfortunately, in a kind of a rough game against Florida there. But it hasn't totally panned out for him, and it turns out to be the case for a lot of Heisman Trophy winners. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, first of all, you've got to separate the careers. I mean, college is college, and professional football is professional football. I mean, a lot of times you've got to be in the right place at the right time with the right people. I really feel that that was the case I had during my time at Ohio State. I really feel like I was in the right place at the right time with the right people to make it possible for me to win 2 Heisman trophies. And that has a lot to do with it. When you go to pro ball, you got to be in that right situation. If the situation is not right, it's not going to work out. You might be lucky enough to end up in the right situation where you get that opportunity, but it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to work out at the very beginning. And you've got to be patient, and you've got to be steadfast in your belief that you could play the game at that level.
Let me quickly ask you about your time at Ohio State. Under Woody Hayes, you got to say, anyone pretty much would say he's one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. What do you think about him compared to the current coach, Jim Tressel? I mean, Woody won, I think, 13 Big Ten championships, 5 national championships. Tressel, I think, 6-1 as far as that's concerned.
Well, I think they're very similar. Both of them are outstanding coaches. Both of them really, really care about their community, and that's what I've always liked about Woody Hayes, and that's what I like about Jim Tressel. They care about the community, they care about the players that's on their teams, and I think when you get that, you get a very special coach who's going to be very, very successful in the years to come.
Well, of course, mainly we want them to win, right?
Yeah, and you want them to beat Michigan,
if
too.
You talk, which they pretty much always do nowadays. If you care about your community, though, that's an important aspect of the award that you're part of here, the Wendy's High School Heisman. Just tell us quickly about that, only about 20 seconds.
Well, I've been involved with the Wendy's High School Heisman program since 1994, 16 years, and it's been a wonderful program. Over 200,000 high school seniors have been recognized through the program because of the wonderful job they do in athletics, academics, and community service. Tonight, we're going to honor one male and one female as the winners of the Wendy's High School Heisman.
All right, Archie, thank you so much for joining us. Archie Griffin.